Wherapy. Therapy wherever, whenever.
So, on to our final country of the Therapy World Tour, and that is Angola. So, if you're from Angola, send me a DM or an email, info@wherapy.com, and I will, or I may rather, because there tend to be quite a few who contact me, I may give you one free therapy session, and if that's the case, I look forward to talking to you a lot. But on to the last point of the last life problem of our 30s, or commonly associated to the 30s. And that's loneliness. Until now, we've spoken about relationships a lot, yeah. And there are a lot of people who aren't in any relationships in their 30s, yeah. And this is something that can create a lot of inner conflict, yeah, because and I talk a lot about 3 types of inner conflict, and one of those types is a motivation. We want to have a connection to somebody versus a reality, we don't have it, and therefore we have that inner conflict. And having that inner conflict for a long time creates the depression. But there are some differences in terms of gender norms when it comes to being single in our 30s. Hopefully those norms will go away over time, and I think they are in certain areas of the world. But in general, women tend to feel a little bit maybe embarrassed that they don't have a partner in their 30s, yeah, because the common kind of thought around finding a partner is that the man is the person who pursues and the woman is the person who just makes herself available if she wants a partner, yeah. So in this dynamic, or this dynamic rather, means that the woman hasn't been chosen, yeah. And they have no way of kind of escaping the fact that people think this way. So even if the woman has, in this case, has made a choice to be single in her 30s and has broken up with a man who she didn't want to be with, and is just pursuing life, pursuing all the other good aspects of life, people can still think that, well, how come you're single, yeah? Why is nobody dating you, yeah? And that leads to a lot of kind of embarrassment and feelings of insufficiency. Whereas the man, in this case, unfairly, has the ability to blame someone else. Yeah, well, I just haven't found the right one. Yeah, because this dynamic exists where the man pursues and the woman just makes herself available. So the dynamic is very unfair, yeah. But that doesn't mean that the man is, in this case, sad that they are alone, yeah. And I think if they have been alone long enough, then the embarrassment will be there, because the people that are around them and have been around them long enough know that, well, there must be something that's wrong. There might be something he's not telling people. So when we're in our 30s, we always get questioned about why we are lonely, or why we are alone, whilst when we're in our 20s, we don't. It's just somebody who's enjoying their freedom and enjoying the smorgasbord of all other people that are around there, yeah. But this feeling of being alone, the loneliness associated with it, makes us think about the meaning of life. And when we search for the meaning of life, we realize how meaningless our lives are, yeah. And we find trouble dealing with that, yeah. And when we're stuck in this, yeah, when we're stuck in this loneliness, we also have other people in our lives, like friends and cousins, relatives, who might be the same age as us, who are inviting us over to dinner with their family, and we're the single person, and that feels weird. Or even worse, they're inviting us over along with another single person, and they're trying to match us up, which also feels weird. So our being single becomes a problem for society as well. It's not only a problem because we're lonely, other people are perceiving it as something that is a problem. So there's a lot of loneliness in our 30s. And as I mentioned, in comparison to being alone in our 20s, where loneliness is seen as freedom, being alone in our 30s means that we are insufficient. And we should be able to change loneliness, remark it a little bit, to see it as solitude. But that's something that is more accepted by society the older we get. So we're in a little bit of but we're between a rock and a hard place in this one, and we can't really escape the loneliness being seen as pure loneliness, and it being on us, our problem, that we are alone. So this is a very typical problem associated with our 30s. And that, guys, ladies and gentlemen, was the podcast. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up or give it a rating on whatever platform you are listening to this to. And also consider subscribing and consider following on all our social media accounts. And I just hope that you have a really great day and that you are feeling at peace with yourselves. I love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.